Hey, what is up, lovelies? It is Lynn the Gacha Goblin, and okay, I have been so thoroughly entertained today. There was something, okay, that happened today in the lads community that is absolutely insane. Now, we rarely get any statements from Love and Deepspace, but clearly we got a huge statement today because something was released that shouldn't have been released. I am going to not say the word that people have been using because I think they're using that word to find people who are talking about it. So I'm not going to use that word, but it is also the same kind of word spelled differently that is a green vegetable that is very long. Yeah, so what I am referring to today is the actual official statement that Love and Deepspace has released in regards to the information and pictures that were released today, that were unofficial, that were very clear compared to the previous things that were unofficially released. Okay. So, let's talk about this. This is actually crazy. Do you see how long this thing is? This is so long. Okay, so earlier today, before I jump into this, earlier today, I was scrolling through my timeline, as I do, and right there, right in front of my face, I see the thing that was posted, and I'm like, oh my god, what is this? It turns out to be the unofficially released information and photos of the upcoming multi-banner. And this is crazy because we haven't even officially gotten Silas's birthday card yet, and they're already releasing the multi-banner information. And I was like, this is wild. There were no tags in the post, there were no warnings in the post, anything that would refer to the vegetable and also to spoilers. And I was like, oh my god, okay, first of all, you can't go posting this stuff without putting the tags so that way people can avoid those kind of things if they don't want to see it and have their experience quote unquote ruined. But at this point in our game, I'm pretty sure a lot of people just want to see and know what's gonna come up so that way they know whether or not they're gonna save or if they're gonna skip that particular banner. That being said, Infold took immediate action. Okay, they took immediate action, and on their Weibo, they posted the same statement, the same kind of words. This was posted on their Japanese Twitter, it was posted on their Korean Twitter, it was posted everywhere, okay? Now, the interesting thing that wasn't posted on Twitter was this photo, and I don't know why they didn't bother to post this photo, but this is an official, I guess, report to the police, or to the authorities that, you know, deal with this kind of information release, unofficial release, right? So I went ahead and Google translated it. So before we even read the paragraph, let's look at what this says. Is there a way for me to make this bigger? Let's see. Okay. I don't have a... Okay, wait, hold on. 1 second. La. Okay, see? So, let me take myself off the screen. So here, it was reported to the Shanghai Public Security Bureau Case Incident Report. Okay, this is an official report sent out to the police. So they have, you know, they are saying that they're finding the perpetrator or whatnot. They have the name, the contact address, the contact number. Report content at about 11:46 on April 3rd, Shanghai Paper Interactive Entertainment Network Technology. I think this is Paperfold, right? Paperfold, Infold. He reported to the office that an unpublished version of an online game called Love and Deepspace under his company name was illegally leaked and forwarded by others on the internet platform, causing economic losses to the company. So he came to the record. Okay. Let's see, how to check the progress of the case. You can make inquiries by phone or in person, yada yada yada. So this actually looks like the quality of the document itself looks like it's like a scan of an official document. There's a QR code here, which I am hesitant to scan. I'm not gonna scan it. But basically they're complaining that because the multi-banner was leaked ahead of time, it's going to cause an economic loss to the company. Bro, come on, really? An economic loss to the company? I don't think so. Do you know how much Infold makes? Anyway, so let's go over to the English version of the post and let's read it together. Okay. Alright, so we have recently become aware of an incident involving the unlawful acquisition and dissemination of an undeveloped game assets. Immediate action has been taken to collect relevant information and a formal report has been filed with law enforcement authorities. The development team is now working closely with the authorities to support the ongoing investigation. We are continuing to closely monitor any further dissemination of the leaked content and will take appropriate action as needed. We urge all players and the community members to refrain from sharing or engaging with any, I said it already, should I say it now? Vegetable materials. Please avoid any actions that may contribute to the further spread of such content and let us work together to uphold a lawful and orderly online environment. Alright, I'm gonna keep it a buck, guys. This is ridiculous, because you're not gonna stop people from sending this to each other on DMs. Sure, they're not going to send it, like through public domain. They're gonna send it through DMs now. They're just gonna send it through DMs. Once it's already out there in the public, people have already screenshotted that, passed it around. Like, it is insane. There's no way of getting rid of that. We would also like to clarify that the vegetable materials primarily consist of temporary assets and do not represent the final quality of the game. Okay, I have seen the vegetable, and I'm gonna say that the vegetable was clearer than what we've gotten for Catch 22 is what I'm gonna say. You know how that leak for Catch 22 looks super fake and looks super like blurry? Yeah, it wasn't that blurry, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't that pixelated, and it was a Quint banner. You know, I saw all of them. For the most accurate and up-to-date experience, please refer only to the official announcements and in-game content upon release. My question is, are they going to change what the banner is now? I feel like it's too late, right? It is too late. They're probably not gonna change it. We would also like to take this opportunity to address the recurring issue of unauthorized vegetables. We understand and share the frustration and disappointment of our dedicated community in light of these repeated malicious and illegal vegetables. However, we want to assure everyone that our team has never turned a blind eye to such incidents, nor have we ever engaged in or condoned any form of staged vegetables for publicity purposes. Okay, this is interesting, okay? Because I have been saying on my channel since the Vegetable of Silas's release last year in, I think, July or end of June, that it could have been Infold doing their own vegetable. And that way, you know, it would have like caused people to be more interested in the game. It was almost like an undercover kind of vegetable incident, so that way they can cause scandal and interest and, you know, publicity basically for Love in Deepspace. But it is interesting that they're actually stating that this is not the case. However, we want to assure everyone that our team has never turned a blind eye to such incidents, nor have we ever engaged in or condoned any form of staged vegetables for publicity purposes. That is actually a very big statement from them. So, interesting. This is them saying, basically, that whatever vegetables have been happening, has not been internal or staged, right? So that means that this was quote unquote a malicious repeated attempt by somebody who have been spreading these vegetables online. I guess the malicious intents of the uncles on the CN side. Now, interestingly enough, it is possible. Okay, now this is the theory crafter in me. You know all of those schedules that we've been getting? The schedules and the unofficial roadmaps that we've been getting? You know how people have been saying that there were hairstyles, like long hairstyles that were going to be, what's that called? Part of that multi-banner? Apparently that was fake news, right? But besides that point, the whole theme, the whole aspects, what if somebody started spreading just a slightly different version of the vegetable in order to trace where it was coming from, in order to track down who was the one who was spreading the vegetable? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So, when a similar vegetable occurred in June of last year. Okay, this was the release of Silas. We promptly filed a report and actively followed up on the case. With the assistance from law enforcement, the primary suspect was identified, and the case has since entered the judicial process. Okay, so if the case has entered the judicial process, then that means that the primary suspect is only one person who did last year's vegetable. But there have been continuous vegetables since then. So there are multiple people who are doing this vegetable spreading. This is a warning to those people. Due to procedural constraints, we are unable to disclose further details at this time. Procedural constraints. Okay. Has since entered the judicial process. I wonder how long it took, how much information they needed, because this implies that they just entered the judicial process. Okay, internally we have implemented comprehensive measures to strengthen our confidentiality protocols, including enhanced training for all relevant teams, stricter penalties for breaches, and improved workflow oversight to minimize risks. We have also established dedicated monitoring systems and teams to swiftly detect and address any unauthorized disclosures. As a result of these efforts, we have successfully intercepted several attempts to illegally obtain and distribute our unreleased content. Regrettably, however, these measures have not been sufficient to prevent all incidents. Okay. You know what? This is funny. Because remember last year, I don't know if you've been watching me for that long, but last year I said leaks are going to happen, whether they try to do something or not. I mean, if a huge corporation like Hoyoverse can't stop leaks from happening on their end, how much more do you think it would be easier for a company like Infold to have leaks? You know, they have hundreds of workers who are in their teams and working on these projects. And there are also, you know, ways of obtaining these pieces of information from corporate computers, corporate laptops, without having security measures in place. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, hackers and whatnot. So it may not be the fault of the company or the workers. It may be outside people who know how to get this information, who are skilled in getting this information, who are skilled probably in getting information from other games and posting those same things. It's kind of crazy, honestly. Like, the internet is a very scary place, because once you put something publicly on the internet, you can never take it back, okay? You can never take it back, and that is quite insane. As a result of these efforts, we have successfully intercepted several attempts to illegally obtain and distribute our unreleased content. Ooh, people got fired. Yeah, they probably got fired here. Regrettably, however, these measures have not been sufficient to prevent all incidents. Clearly, because we've gotten pretty much, vegetables for every banner so far. Since the launch of Love in Deepspace, we have been deeply moved by the incredible support and passion from our community. Unfortunately, such attention has also drawn malicious attempts to undermine our work. The illegal acquisition and distribution of undeveloped materials is an issue that all game developers and players rightfully condemn. Okay, despite our rigorous technical safeguards and continuous investigations, such vegetables continue to occur. We fully understand the frustration this may cause, and we want to assure you that these vegetables are in no way intentional or beneficial to us. Again, they're reiterating the fact that this isn't a ploy. Like, this wasn't a staged vegetable that was being spread. Interesting. And they're also saying that it's not beneficial to them. Is it really not beneficial to them? Like, how? Look, the company doesn't give us a roadmap, right? They don't give us a roadmap. They don't let us know what's going to come out. It causes intense FOMO and anxiety for their player base. And what? They're making people feel all of this FOMO so that way they can be forced to spend on a certain banner because you don't know when it's going to come back. We don't know when multi-banners are coming back. We know that solo banners are coming back, or at least solo birthday banners are coming back. We also know that myth banners are coming back. But when are the regular lunar cards coming back? No defense zone, or what's it called? What's the one with Zane playing pool? I forgot the name of that. Yeah, but like those cards, when are those coming back? We haven't seen that yet. So it is interesting that they're really saying that it's not beneficial to them because they're feeding off of our FOMO. They're feeding off of our anxiety. That's how they're manipulating us into spending more money. Okay, interesting. Leaked content disrupts internal development timelines. I can understand this. Okay, this makes sense. Okay. Marketing plans. What marketing plans? You don't even give us a roadmap. And plan release schedules. Okay, more importantly, it negatively affects the player experience and the valuable feedback we may receive on upcoming versions. What do you mean? Everybody's been asking for a roadmap, bro. Like, what? Okay, your marketing plans and your plan release schedules, you have plan release schedules, I'd like to see them. I'd like to see a roadmap, please. I'm pretty sure a majority of the player base would like to see a roadmap. That is crazy. It negatively affects the player experience. My butt, bro. You not communicating a roadmap to us is negatively affecting our experience, okay? Valuable feedback? You mean the feedback that you've been, like, purposefully ignoring? Feedback about Silas's content, about Caleb's content, about better grinding. You really? Look, I understand. After a lot of things that have happened lately, I understand that global players complain about a lot of things, but there are real issues in this game that even the CN players also agree with, especially Silas's missing content. Okay, valuable feedback that we haven't had any statement coming back from you guys. Okay. Interesting. Once again, we sincerely ask all players and supporters of Love in Deepspace to refrain from sharing any unofficial or confidential content. This includes illegally obtained materials as well as unverified insider information. Oh, this is the uncles. We will continue to collect evidence and pursue legal action against all such violators and their dissemination. Even engagement driven by curiosity can unintentionally contribute to the spread and negative impact of these harmful vegetables. Okay? Curiosity may arise from love, but true care is shown through protection. Okay. Like all dedicated deep space hunters, we sincerely hope that every careful design detail can be revealed in its best possible form. This is something that they reiterated during Silas's vegetable spread. Resisting illegal vegetables is not just our responsibility. Resisting illegal is not just our responsibility. It's a shared commitment to protecting creativity, nurturing the development process, and safeguarding the player experience. You want to safeguard something? Okay, the best way to prevent these vegetables from spreading is by giving us a roadmap. Okay, even just like teasers, okay? Teasers. Give us just teasers or something. Give us a roadmap, give us teasers, not releasing things 2 days before 2 days before the final drop of the content. Because that is anxiety inducing. Again, it's playing on the FOMO of your players. You're not taking care of the player experience. You're not taking care of your player base by doing that, okay? You are feeding off of their anxiety. And they can't even grind for diamonds. They can't even... You're forcing them to spend, okay? That is what you're doing. Our efforts to investigate and pursue legal action in response to such incidents will not cease. Okay, we will recognize that vegetables are an industry-wide challenging impact. Many game projects, our determination to protect that. We recognize that vegetables are an industry-wide challenge impacting many game projects. Oh, okay. Our determination to protect our game and our players remains unwavering. Okay. Please also note that due to legal constraints, we may not be able to share updates on our investigations publicly. Okay, it is an honor to stand alongside all deep space hunters in protecting our Lincoln City together. Thank you for being part of this journey with us. Okay, interesting. Okay, so final thoughts of this little post here before we jump into the quote retweets, because I also want to dive into exactly what the player base is really saying right now, or at least show you what a majority of the player base is saying. So let's talk about this. The fact that Infold was capable of making an official statement regarding the vegetables that were being spread shows that they are capable of making statements. You know, they're capable of posting up legal statements, or at least official statements like this, in order to talk to their community. Now, I had actually posted on my Twitter, I had quote retweeted here. You know, I'm really happy they bothered to make an official statement this time around. Hopefully more official statements to come. You know, regarding some of the feedback, quote unquote feedback that we're talking about, that I was talking about earlier. I believe staying proactive with the community is the best way to garner respect and loyalty. Right now, a majority of the player base, they're thankful that the game exists. You know, they're thankful that the story is amazing, the animations are great, but the way the player base is actually treated, not so great. Let's see what people are saying to this. I don't get why Infold doesn't release like a schedule of upcoming banners, like they do with Infinity Nikki. Regardless of that, there will always be vegetables. See? This is one person who says this. They have to give us a roadmap and make us easy to farm for Dias. Not all have money that much. Every even become single LI player. It's still hard, you know. Yeah, so even if you only support one love interest, it's still hard to get all of their cards. Well, I hope they can also see that what we really want from them. If they have eyes everywhere, they should try to pay attention to how we're always begging them to give us more ways to farm diamonds. Another excellent input. Now, let us look at the quote retweets from this. So let's look at quote retweets. Few quotes. This is really funny. Some of you in the comments, leave the multi-billion-dollar company alone. That is so funny. Because let's just read through these. The absolute disrespect and entitlement this fandom has to comment this under the post that denounces sharing of unreleased info. I relinquish any ties to this stupid fandom. If I'm not already your friend, then I consider you dumb as rocks for being a part of Lad's fandom. And what are they talking about? They're talking about this post here, this picture. I think that this probably wouldn't have happened if you had released roadmaps for future banners. Meanwhile, also addressing all of the other complaints we have, like missing Silas content and his overall neglect or missing outfit poses in the Lunar shop. That is an excellent point. I had also forgotten about that. The missing outfit poses that were promised to us from months ago already. We still haven't gotten that from the Lunar shop. This was promised to us. They told us in their social post that it would be implemented and integrated into the game once the new update was posted, but we still don't have that. Players wouldn't be so eager to share and discuss vegetables if we had a scheduled release calendar, month by month, to know what to expect. I don't support the irresponsible and disrespectful spreading of vegetables that's been going on, but I think if you've listened to players' complaints, you would probably know this. I'm kind of like understanding what they're saying. They're just talking about, having a release, scheduled release calendar. We get a scheduled release calendar in almost every gacha game that I play. You know it's going to come out in the next month at least. You know what the next patch is going to be about. You would have at least some teasers being posted up, or some suggestions, at least in the main story or through any other content that is being put out into the game. But for Love and Deepspace, you're going into this game completely blind, okay? So it's a not fair statement. Oh, also, free my man Xavier from the basement and give us more options to farm gems for these insane releases where you guys give us no heads up and then force free-to-play players to unintentionally skip out on things they want to pull. Yeah, I mean, that is true, right? And I don't know, like, is there anything in this that signifies disrespect or entitlement? I really don't think so. I really think it's about respecting the player base. I mean, okay, if Infold can't handle giving us months, a month in advance scheduled release calendar, maybe they could give us 2-3 weeks, I think that would be way helpful, like much more helpful than how we're dealing with the situation right now. But I don't know, guys. It's kind of silly. It's kind of silly. I don't think that that's entitlement at all. See, this was so interesting. I don't know why they don't do this anymore, okay? I feel like posts like this would really help, not necessarily a full roadmap, but just tease pics of the next theme banner or something, like they did for Misty Invasion. This was before the official teaser dropped. Like I'd actually be nice and keep most of us excited just like back then. This was excellent, the way that they had posted this. I was hoping that they were going to continue this trend, but they haven't done that since Misty Invasion, which I find is ridiculous. I really do find that ridiculous, because why wouldn't you just post little teasers like this? I mean, you're not even showing that much. We were still gobsmacked when the trailer hit, okay? We were still really invested. But this just made everybody excited about what was gonna come out. I don't understand why they don't just post simple pictures like this. This, a week in advance, would drive us crazy. Just post like one each day, I think that would have been really, really nice. Okay, let's see. Then give us a roadmap calendar. If you give us the info yourselves, players won't resort to cheap tricks just to ensure they get to enjoy the game. Not everyone can shell thousands for this game, and if you continue this shitty management, you'd lose more players. Whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? That is so funny, but this is true. People are now I had posted a video about this earlier on my channel. I think sometime last month, talking about how I had done a poll on my Twitter and also on my YouTube, asking players if they're, actively looking for vegetables online. And yes, they are. They want to know what's coming up because that is the only way that we know what to save our diamonds for. And I really do think just like teaser photos or something in advance would really just appease the player base. And yet Infold is still not willing to do that, and it's very, very frustrating. I don't know what that means. I truly despise and feel disgusted by global server players. Oh god. They do wrong and think they're right, whining and complaining about the gacha system. Why don't they just get lost and go somewhere else? Okay. Okay. We're gonna continue down. It's a gacha game. Why the F do you think you're entitled to roadmap like it's a gambling game? Come on. Okay. You see how many likes these things get? Not that many likes. Thank God they don't get that many likes because this is ridiculous. Most gacha games have roadmaps, right? Most HSR, Genshin, Wuwa, Infinity Nikki. And, okay, if we look further down, I was clocked in while they dropped this, but this shows me do pay attention to what players are saying and doing. They're just very, very, very selective on what they choose to address. So, okay, yeah, this is really true. They are paying attention to the community, but they are incredibly selective of what they address. Now, that is interesting because there have been some things that they should address, but they haven't. And this is the only thing that they're really addressing now. Why are people about Infold vegetable equal bad? Which gacha games put roadmap of their future banners anyway? HSR in their leaks, in their lives, they tell you what future banners are coming. That is so funny. Lads fandom is the dumbest community I've ever witnessed ever. Wow, the entitlement people have in these replies is crazy. Wow. A comment saying Infold should give players an event timeline. In my opinion, having a timeline does ruin overall experience. For example, another popular 2D game is 1 year slower than our CN server, and after playing for 3 years, I found myself not looking forward to it anymore. I don't think you understand. When we're asking for a roadmap or we're asking for a timeline or anything like that, we're asking for teasers. Okay, we're asking for teasers. We're not asking for a freaking, what do you call that? Glossary? No, what is that online thing that breaks down a book? Like if you needed to read a book for a book report, what is that called? There was a website for that. Oh my god, I feel like I'm getting old. Spark Notes. I'm not asking for Spark Notes for the next banners that are coming out, okay? I am asking for a blurry image that is like the teasers for Misty Invasion, guys. That is what I'm asking for. That is the quote-unquote timeline that I'm asking for, okay? That is what I'm asking for, okay? That is what a lot of people are asking for, really. Just a tease, just something that will entice us to save or entice us to spend, wow. So many people really don't want roadmaps. This is crazy. I don't even know, bro. You guys are just used to Hoyo Wuwa leaks and their roadmap. This is a real gacha game, especially gacha Otome game. No leak, no free diamonds, only money. Do we really want that though? I don't understand. Do you really want... here's my thing, okay? This video is going for too long, but here's my thing. If we just settle for the minimum treatment about this game and how they treat their players, then that is the baseline for how future games like this are going to treat us. Why can't Love and Deepspace create their own identity, their own pattern, and break out of that mold and actually take care of their player base, right? There are so many gacha games, like, okay, I can't say so many gacha games. There are very popular gacha games, Hoyoverse games, and Wuwa, that have taken care of their player base, especially Wuwa, and HSR up until now. Now I think they're kind of falling off a little bit, but that's besides the point. They took care of their players. They had loyal fan base, right? But why can't we ask the same thing for Love and Deepspace? I don't understand. I don't understand why people get upset about us wanting a roadmap or a timeline or like something small. That's all I'm asking for. Okay, well, that is pretty much it. If you guys are looking for the vegetable, I would say I don't know where you would find it, because for where I found it here, it was hidden. It was deleted. So, looks like there are some people who are still actually spreading it. So yeah, there are also a lot of people who are looking for it too. Yeah, so you're probably gonna be able to find it somewhere. I'm telling you, you're definitely 100% going to be able to find it somewhere. Anyway, that is pretty much it. I'm tired. Yeah, so that is what happened today. It kept me entertained all day at work. I kept checking my notifications and my timeline, and it was fascinating to see everything play out the way that it did, honestly. Okay, well, leave your comments down below. What do you think about the official statement? The fact that they actually made an official statement is interesting enough, and also the fact that people are relying on these vegetables to get information. The quote retweets on that thing was very interesting to see, because a majority of my followers, at least on YouTube, are a-okay with seeing these vegetables spread because we don't have any timeline. But the quote retweets on Twitter, whoa, that actually shocked me. Okay, well, I gotta go. Oh, my voice is tired. Alrighty, bye. Subscribe to the channel if you want Love and Deepspace stuff. And yeah, I'm Lynn, the Gacha Goblin, and I will see you lovelies in the next video. Bye-bye now.